Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to my Hot Girl Squeeze. So, the thing is, I wanted to talk to you. No, the thing is, I wanted to talk to you guys about Joe Budden, about the young woman who started a podcast, and she's claiming that Joe Budden plagiarized her, stealing her name for her podcast, which is comma, the thing is, dot, 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 right? So she launched her podcast 3 months ago. Joe Budden Network just launched a new female cast to counter his male podcast, maybe about a month ago at this time, right? So hers came out a couple of months before his did. Now, here, let me show you as a matter of fact, because I took a picture so I can show you. Some people were saying, like, well, girl, you should have had copyright written it, the name for the podcast. He didn't steal anything from you. Others are saying that, that's a common phrase. Everyone has said that at some point. Her whole thing is she's caught up on it, has the same comma in the same place and a dot, dot, dot. But I'm thinking most people would pick that like that anyway. But just so you see, this is how... They don't even got the dots on this one. Maybe they stopped the dots because she claimed that she had spoken. But this is a podcast. As you see, it says, see, the thing is. And then it goes on to whatever they're talking about. Now, people who are Joe Budden fans already know that it's been like a year or 2 years now. He has constantly stated, like, we need the woman's perspective. We need a woman's input on certain things that they talk about. He also had been spoke about expanding his brand and making this network and bringing up others along with him. So if you look at his podcast with the three fellas and like even the scenery, the women's who he set up channels that it is a replica, the female version, the feminine energy of his masculine energy podcast. Also, if you go look, the young lady who is spearheading the show for the female podcast, see, the thing is, she has been on his podcast starting back as far as like 4 or 5 years ago. She has started being on there. So one of the things that I was looking at and why I feel he did not plagiarize her, I have a few things I want to say to back up my opinion and my assessment of the situation, is the fact that they were already in talks and in the works of starting this podcast. Of course, we know how the way they run things there. If we just got that woman's podcast, what was it, a month ago, they then already signed contracts, have figured out a name, figured out imagery, what angle they were going to promote it, and what the branding for it was going to be months ago, probably 6-7 months ago. And this is when they launched it. So that's one of the reasons why I feel that he did not steal from her, because although hers came out 2 months prior to his was something that had already been in the works, right? They plan up there in the industry, and at that level, they plan things out months and even years in advance, okay? Like, let me think. They about to bring out some movie. Trust me, that movie was done a year and a half ago. They just now decided it was the time when they wanted to put it out. So I look at it that way. I also look at it like this way. We always tend to think more grander of ourselves than what we should, right? Like we're just this unicorn, and we get an idea and it's like the best thing since sliced bread. We're so unique, so different. And I'm sorry to tell you, that's simply not the truth. It's 1 billion people in the world. So out of, actually I think it's like what, 6 billion or something like that. So out of that 6 billion, you best believe it's 1 million right now who is thinking the exact same thing that you are, wearing the exact same thing that you're wearing, had the same thing for breakfast as you, lay and sleep the same way you do. You get what I'm saying? So that was one of the things I was looking at. I used to write, right? Because came up in music. I was a music child. I used to sing, write, then went into rapping and stuff. So I had wrote this song and I had named it. I was in middle school during this time. I had named it Have You Ever? And I kid you not, literally about like 4 or 5 months later, Brandy dropped a song called Have You Ever? And my thought was like, wow, that's what I named my song. I was not in Brandy's studio sessions. Brandy was not in my notebook where I wrote my songs and rhymes. So my point is, you weren't the first one who came up with that thought or idea. Even her herself got that from hearing it and putting it together from somewhere else. You get what I'm saying? And that's just common. That's common. We're not unicorns. Other people think the same way that we do. Other people come across and process the same way that we do. So that's the other reason why I think it's not necessarily plagiarism. So that's my second point. My third point is this. You do have celebrities, companies, corporations, bigwigs that do steal from smaller people, smaller artists, smaller business, steal their ideas, their creativity, and all of that, right? And since they're working with someone bigger, more massively known, a lot of people would think that they're the original. They came up with it, and this smaller person, they ain't never seen them, never heard of them, right? Now, I do believe that a lot do that. But I think in a lot of cases, just as much, you have the artist or celebrity or corporation don't know anything about it. They have people coming to them with ideas. They don't know where they got the idea from. They present them with an idea and they say, oh, you know what, that sounds good, I'll take it. So sometimes it's a photographer who stole the imagery of a smaller known photographer and then presented it to the celebrity like, here, this is my idea for this photo shoot. It wasn't the celebrity who stole it. It was the photographer. Or the choreography. It was a choreographer that stole it and presented it to the celebrity. So I think that's the other thing. In some cases, let's say this was a situation where someone else had presented it to him, knowing and had seen or heard of this young lady. How was he supposed to know that? How he supposed to know that, okay, my think tank, people who working for me, they're out stealing ideas from other people? And the other thing that I want to say, because like I said, I just told you about my brandy experience with this, but I have a couple of other experiences with this. I had started this jewelry. I was making jewelry or whatever, right? And I was thinking of a name. I had wrote down quite a few. Oh, I still got my little notebook of the stuff I wanted to design, the designs I wanted, where I would sketch it out, the name of the company that I wanted it to be, the brand. So the one that I had chose out of all the names that I had wrote down was Treasure Chest, right? I go to try and make an email and get a website for it. The name was already taken. Those people didn't steal it from me. I didn't steal it from them. I didn't know the treasure chest will already be taken. It was a term that I thought of, that I liked, that a million others have thought of too. And that is totally okay, okay? We have to stop thinking so much and highly of ourselves, like we're just this special being and no one else thinks and moves and has the same formation we do, because it's simply not true. Other people can think just like you. It's quite a few things where, here, let me show you all this other thing, because people out here is crazy. This is what this girl wrote to me. Now, this is what y'all gotta understand about YouTube. You know how you don't have DM, you don't have inbox, stuff like that. So people, what I learned from my experience on my YouTube channel, people will write you stuff and post it, and then they will either delete the actual comment, but it's still going to show up in your notification. So you see it, but no one else sees it. Or they write the comment, post it, but then they edit it. So you get the notification for what they originally wrote, while everybody else will only see what they changed it to, right? So this young lady wrote this on, I think it was not my Real Housewives of Potomac video. Hold on, I'm going to tell y'all exactly which video she wrote this on, because when I went to go try and reply to it, it was gone, but it was still in my notifications because she had erased it. But this chick wrote to me, hello, here, all right, I want y'all to see this so y'all know I ain't lying. She, her name is Dee Bless, I can barely see, hold on. Dee Blast, SoundCloud, I think that says, because I'm reading it backwards for me, commented. She says, what do she say? Hold on. She says, hello, Pierre, slashes in the title is my idea. This girl thinks slashes belongs to her, okay? Do you know how psychotic that is? Some of my videos, I choose to use slashes. Some I choose to use a period. But anyway, she says it's my idea. Use plus. She's telling me slashes is her idea. Like, she invented the keyboard and put that on there. We know damn well she didn't. Like, that idea came from someone else that you're using. So if I'm stealing your idea, then you're stealing someone else's. But anyway, so she says use plus. Original isn't a matter, because she put that in, you see that isn't? She put that in caps. Isn't a matter anyways with people. So I basically saying people ain't trying to have originality anymore. I've never seen this girl channel, never went to it. It's never been suggested to me or anything. Never knew she used slashes inside her titles. But anyway, she said originality isn't with people anymore. I hope you get your own ideas. Slash is mine. Get your own thing. And then Dee Blast, the fucking Black Madonna. This is what this chick wrote to me. I want y'all to see that. Slashes Come on. Come on. Oh, it's about to go dead. Crap. It would be. See, I've been doing too much on this thing. But no, I got to make sure that y'all see this. Read that. Slashes is her idea. I have no originality. I should use the plus sign. I need to stop taking her ideas because slashes belongs to her. And it was so funny to me. So I had screenshotted because I was already thinking like I wanted to make this joke, but in video. And then I'm like, and here we go. Another prime example of what I was thinking I wanted to come and talk to y'all about. Of someone thinking that they own something that is not even theirs. That they did not originate or come up with themselves. You choose to use slashes in there, but slashes didn't come from you, sweetheart. And are you going to go around through social media telling everyone that you own slashes? Is this young lady going to go around, you're the only one who put 3 dots behind a saying, a phrase? Like, come on now. Do y'all see how psychotic this is? So, is it possible that he came across her podcast? Yes. Do I personally feel that he has, and that's where his name came up for the women's podcast from? No, I don't. And the fact that it has the comma in there and the 3 dots, that's proper. The comma in there will be proper English to put emphasis on the fact that you're trying to put a vocal point on something else. So the comma, for anyone who is in grammar or literature, would automatically put that there. And then a dot, that means a continuation. So, and a lot of people use that in text messages, Facebooks, all different forms of social media. So, give me you guys' thoughts. Do you think that Joe Budden stole this from her? Do you think that this chick is clout chasing? And how do you feel about it? Do you even care if he did find an idea from her? But we just need to stop thinking like only we think a certain way, like certain things, because it's simply not true. That's why when they make stuff, they make it in a mass production so they can distribute it to the masses, because it's going to be a lot who's going to like it and click to it. Language has been a thing since the Stone Ages. You're not the first person to think of those words. So that's just my thoughts on it. Tell me what you guys think. And DD Blast, I ain't never even seen your goddamn channel. And I use slashes in whatever videos I want. Keep your ass off my page. Ain't nobody stealing nothing from you. Did I steal this ponytail from you too? Thanks for watching.